Good afternoon, race fans. Welcome to the Wild West Racing League, Stand for Whitt Xfinity Series, race number 8 at Bristol Motor Speedway, where we're going to do 100 laps today. We are three races before the playoffs, and we have a total of 5 winners so far this season. Trey Smith, James Napier, Tanner Ensign, Justin Bell, and Mike Presley. They are guaranteed into the first round of the playoffs. By points, we have Bryton Coleman, Scott Rush, and Gene Watkinson. Any of the drivers below them could possibly, with a win, make it into the playoffs. Win and you're in. Let's take a look at some of the people we got here today and just speak to them. See how they're doing. Just look for James Napier. Here he is. Hey, James Napier, Barry Stevens in the broadcast booth. You got me.
Hi.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, with this race today here at Bristol, short half-mile track, what's your strategy and what do you need to do to get yourself up in the front?
Aggressive and stay up front.
Be aggressive and stay up front. Do you have to be aggressive all day, or it pick your battles?
Pick your battles, really.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have the car to have a podium?
Uh, Maybe. I don't know. We'll see, man. The car seems a little tight, but I'm hoping to have it at the end.
Well, for practice time, you are the fastest so far on the track. Now that one won't necessarily equate to racing, but it's nice to know that you have a fast machine out there. So congratulations on that. I'll move you back up to the driver's meeting. Thanks. That's James Napier in the 77 machine. All right. Let's see if we can get somebody else. How about Gene Watkinson? Hey, Gene Watkinson, Barry Stevens in the broadcast booth. You got me.
Yeah, I got you, Bear.
Let me ask you a question. You're at the bottom of the leaderboard during practice, but you have not turned very many laps. How are you doing, and how's the car today?
Feels all right. Only like second or third time run this track, so just stay in the back here. Don't want to cause any accidents or anything, but I think I'll be all right.
Do you have a strategy to get yourself up towards podium positions by the end of the race?
Just try to run a consistent race and hopefully dodge the wrecks. I think there's going to be a few of them tonight.
I think you're right. I think being that it's a short track and it's fast and high bank, there's not going to be a lot of give. There's going to be a lot more take. So you're going to have to, like you said, make sure you stay clean, have a good race, race smart, and I'll move you back up to the. Well, everybody's out of the drivers' meeting. What team are you on?
I'm actually not on any team.
Okay, I will move you back up to the drivers' meeting then.
Sounds good. Thank you, Bear.
Thank you, Gene Watkinson in the 111. All right, so we've got about 45 seconds or so before we get into qualifying. Why don't we see if we can find Scott Rush? We haven't talked to him yet, from Ensign Motorsports. Hey, Scott Rush, Barry Stevens in the broadcast
Hey.
booth. You got me.
Yeah, Barry, how are you, man?
Doing pretty good. We've got about 15, 20 seconds before qualifying starts, but how are you today, and how's the car?
I feel all right. I think middle of the pack is about what I'm shooting for. I am not a short track guy, but sooner or later I'm gonna solve that problem. So hopefully it's today.
Well, you've shown that you have speed. You're fourth quickest overall in practice. Now, that may not turn into race speed, but it certainly has got to give you some confidence coming into today's race.
Yeah, I think I'm having trouble with my qualifying setup, so I just can't keep it on the track. So what I've been running in practice is what I'm shooting for during the race. So hopefully we'll come out somewhere closer to the top.
All right. Well, Scott Rush, I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me in the broadcast booth. I'll move you back down to Ensign.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Thank you. And we are now qualifying. Let's take a look here at James Napier. There's Brighton Coleman in that 40 Ford Kodak Advantix. Like all tracks here on NASCAR, you get 2 laps. Oh, and he is very loose. Get 2 laps to qualify. So that was Brighton Coleman. Let's see if we can bring Brighton into the. Let's see if we can find Brighton. There he is. Let's move him up into the broadcast booth. Hey, Brighton Coleman, Barry Stevens in the broadcast booth. You got me.
I got you, Barry.
Well, we just watched you out there qualifying, and a slower qualifying attempt. What do you have for this track today, and what do you have for these guys?
Oh, I am pushing very, very tight. It is going to be a struggle all race to try to find this balance, but the nice part about it is it's Bristol. I think qualifying doesn't really matter that much. It's more of a game of survival. You're racing this track, you're racing your car.
You're 100% correct. It's a track where you are definitely racing your own car as well as the track itself. And as the track adapts and changes, you have to have your car adapt and change to keep up with the track itself. Now, being that this is a night race, temperatures are going to drop and it's going to get faster. The track will, and probably a little bit slicker. So, are you, with that in mind, do you have a strategy for tonight's race?
I think we're going to take her slow. We're going to try to live. We're going to save that fast repair because I've been notorious of using them and then needing them later. And we're just going to listen to the team, listen to the feedback of what we're getting out of this setup, and make the necessary changes that we need to make.
Okay. Brighton Coleman in the number 40 machine. Thanks for taking the time out to speak with us up in the broadcast booth.
And thank you, Barry.
You bet. All right. Still have a couple of minutes here. Why don't we see if we can get Dakota Henderson, who, well, let's see, he may still be out on track. He is. Looks to be our last qualifier. Let's go ahead and watch him. See how he does. He was fast in practice. His first lap gets him to a P4. Dakota Henderson with a first lap of 15.25. So, Dakota Henderson has a second lap of 15.10, putting him in to the lead. Let's get Dakota Henderson and bring him up to the broadcast booth. Hey, Dakota Henderson, Barry Stevens in the broadcast booth. You got me.
Yes, sir. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. How's that Bumblebee Racing number 5 Chevrolet doing for you today?
So far, so good. She's got me on the front row, so we'll see how she fares in the race.
Yeah, we're talking with some of the other drivers, and we know that necessarily qualifying up front doesn't equate to race speed, but being that it's a short track, being up front certainly helps in the way of traffic and navigating your way around this racetrack, because even up front, it's just a matter of time before you have lap cars in front of you that you are navigating. So to be up front at the beginning gives you that extra space that you need to get through this track successfully. Do you have a strategy for tonight's race? Dakota, do you have a strategy for tonight's race?
Yes, sir. Hopefully keep the fenders clean and avoid the chaos. And if I can do that, I should be able to have a solid finish.
All right, well, we're getting ready to start racing, so I'm going to move you back down to Bumblebee, and good luck tonight.
Thank you, sir. You have a good one.
You bet. Dakota Henderson, number 5 Chevrolet. Cars are lining up to go racing here. 100 laps. Wild West Racing League, Bristol Motor Speedway, the Stand for Whitt Xfinity Series. The Stand for Whitt Foundation is a foundation that helps the nearly 12 million men and women who find themselves in domestic violence situations each and every year. That's the Stand for Whitt Foundation. So here we are at Bristol Motor Speedway. It's a half-mile track. Temperature on the track is 65 degrees. It's 65 degrees in the stands with 0% humidity, clear skies, and only a breeze of 1 mile an hour. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by FBN. That's Fearless Broadcasting Network. I'm Barry Stevens. High bank corners, quarter-mile straightaways, half-mile track, tempers, all kinds of situations and storylines that will play out in tonight's race. We see Dakota Henderson, who will lead them down to the start. He now has a dinged up rear end from the 8 car of Justin Bell. That should not hurt him in any way. This is a track that is not aero dependent at all. You just need 4 tires and a steering wheel. And the 77 gets a great jump on the outside. The 5 goes to the bottom and is in second place. That's James Napier out front. James Napier was fastest overall in practice. That Milwaukee 77 Chevrolet. Oh, we've got a wreck, the 44. The 44, Tanner Ensign. Let's look at what happened to Tanner. So he just gets loose on his own and then up into the outside wall, and then he collects the 111 of Gene Watkinson. Tanner Ensign, the 44. Up front, we still have James Napier, followed by Justin Bell. Third place is Dakota Henderson. P4 is Trey Smith, and 5th is John Sauer. 6th is Scott Rush, followed by Brighton Coleman. Tanner Ensign, who was just involved with that accident, is 8th, and 9th is Gene Watkinson, who is currently in the pits. That car is beat up. crew is working on it. We see Justin Bell is second place now. So as we get to the playoffs, Brighton Coleman, Scott Rush, and Gene Watkinson are in on points, but they do not have a win. So if any of them were to get a win, it would ensure that they are in the playoffs. And Dakota Henderson, Jacob Shoffett, those are drivers that are on the outside looking in. They can get in on points, but if they can get a victory here tonight, then they'll be in the first round of the playoffs. Cars are lined up side by side. James Napier will lead them to the line. Lights are out on the pace car. So just James Napier and Justin Bell on the first row. Dakota Henderson and Trey Smith in the second row. Scott Rush and John Sauer in the third row. Here we go. And the 8 looks like he may have jumped the start, but that's going to be up to race control to tell that. The 8, he gets very loose and he wrecks. He gets loose, goes up to the outside wall. Trey Smith in the 1 hits him. Let's look at Trey Smith's view. Trey tries to get out of the way and cannot get out of the way and ends up in the outside wall. That car is kind of beat up too. Not what he wanted to see this early in the race. We are only on lap 8, folks. Coming up right now on to lap 9. James Napier is first. John Sauer on the 22 is second. Scott Rush on the 04 is third. Dakota Henderson is in the pits, showing fourth currently as he comes, I think, back out. Or is he actually going back into the pits? He is. So he will drop down. Tanner Ensign is showing fifth, but he'll move up to fourth. Justin Bell is also in the pits. Trey Smith is showing seventh, but he should move up to, I think, fifth. There, Trey Smith is fifth. So James Napier and John Sauer on the front row. Scott Rush and Tanner Ensign on the second row. Trey Smith and Justin Bell on your third row. Dakota Henderson is with Brighton Coleman, row 4. And if he can get back out on the track is Gene Watkinson. Showing 3 laps down. Brighton Coleman is showing 2 laps down. Lights are out on the pace car. Coming up to take lap 12. Pace car is off. The 77 will lead him to the line. 22 gets an excellent jump on the outside. 77's on the bottom. 22 moves down to follow the 77, and the 44 of Tanner Ensign, who was involved in that earlier wreck, moves up into third position. And we're under caution once again. Justin Bell in the 8 machine. Gets loose. Brings it around. Locks it up. Stays off the wall. No damage to that car at all. Good job by Justin Bell. It's going to be a long night, folks. We're only on lap 14, coming up to lap 15. This has been a caution fest. James Napier, John Sauer, Tanner Ensign are your top 3. It's a good look at that Stand for Whitt Foundation on the front of that 44 of Tanner Ensign. Trey Smith is in 5th. Dakota Henderson is in 6th. Justin Bell's in 7th. Gene Watkinson is showing 2 laps down. Brighton Coleman is 7 laps down. And we are getting notification that Brighton Coleman is, I believe, out of the race. So we're on lap 17 now of 100 laps. Lights are off on the pace car. We're getting ready to go racing next time around. That's 77 Milwaukee, lined up beside the 22 Chinchor. Getting ready to go racing again. 77 and the 22 get an excellent run on both outside and inside. 22 backs up, moves in behind the 77 of James Napier. From the front bumper of James Napier, we see Tanner Ensign back in 3rd. Taking that teardrop. So we're looking back from John Sauer at Tanner Ensign behind him. Let's go back a little bit. We see Dakota Henderson. Dakota Henderson is in 3rd place with the 44 of Tanner Ensign right behind him. Tanner just clicked to the outside wall. So maybe the nerves have settled down a little bit. We've gotten to lap 24 now of 100. See the one of Trey Smith catching the 44. There's the one of Trey Smith is on the bottom, and he has got the pass. He goes around the 111, who is 3 laps down. That's Gene Watkinson. Look back up front. See James Napier, and look right behind him is John Sauer. This is a battle for the lead. It looks like Brighton Coleman is now out of the race as well. Justin Bell and Brighton Coleman. '22 almost got into the left rear of the 77. That would have bumped him, pushed him up a little bit. But the 22 is driving very gentlemanly. Front bumper of James Napier. And it looks like John Sauer will take the lead from James Napier. And he will get credit for leading that lap, lap 33. Battle with the 22 and the 77 and the 5 of Dakota Henderson. We see back in 4th place is Trey Smith now. John Sauer continues to lead with James Napier in 2nd. Dakota Henderson's in 3rd. Let's go back to Dakota. Let's see his angle. He's looking at Trey Smith behind him. And that's James Napier in front of him. Dakota Henderson goes by the 77 of James Napier. So you got to wonder what's going on with James Napier. Now, when they do come in to pit, they can make some changes to keep the car in line with the track, and that may be what James Napier in that 77 machine has to do. John Sauer continues to lead by 0.7 of a second over Dakota Henderson. We see Trey Smith passing the 77 of James Napier. That's for 3rd place. Looking at Trey Smith's bumper cam. So James Napier is definitely struggling here tonight. We see the 111 go to the bottom, get out of the way. Gene Watkinson is 5 laps down. There's Dakota Henderson in second place, trying to catch John Sauer, our leader. There's your gap, about 0.4 of a second. John Sauer, Dakota Henderson. Now the gap is under 0.3 of a second. Let's look back in third. That's Trey Smith. James Napier in fourth. Scott Rush, that U.S. Army 04, is fifth. And Tanner Enzine has dropped back to sixth place. Battle up front between John Sauer and Dakota Henderson. The gap has diminished. There is no gap. You're looking back at Dakota Henderson now. So does Dakota Henderson have anything for the 22 of John Sauer? We're past halfway, folks. Lap 53 of 100. Dakota Henderson may be toying with John Sauer. He's been fast. He was fast in practice. Looking at the bumper cam of John Sauer. Oh, and he gets bumped by Dakota. Wow. John Sauer held on to that. Dakota Henderson, I think, wants by. It's allowing Trey Smith to catch up in third place, though, as these two battle it out. We're under caution. Looks like Gene Watkinson crashed once again. Let's see what happened to Gene. He got loose and clutched the inside wall. He may be retiring that car. Don't know. Let's go back up front. John Sauer is your leader on lap 58 of 100. Dakota Henderson is second. Expect to see all these drivers come in to the pits, and they will. So we see the 44 of Tanner Enzine. with some changes to his Xfinity Ford. See if he can get back up there. He's still in the pits, showing 6th position. He comes out 6th. We'll keep an eye on Tanner Ensign in the 44. He comes around to collect the field. Go back up front. John Sauer riding behind the pace car. Dakota Henderson will line up on the outside of row 1. Looks like the lights are out on the pace car. We'll be going green next time by. Pace car is off. 22 of John Sauer will lead him to the go line, and he's off. What a jump John Sauer got. Dakota Henderson slides on in behind him into 2nd place. James Napier, the 77, is now 3rd. Looks like James Napier got a little loose. See if James has got anything. Maybe he's made some changes to his car. See the line John Sauer takes, goes across that bottom, then allows the car to work its way up to the outside wall, straightening the car out. See the 5 behind him of Dakota Henderson. Lap 68 of 100. So we see the gap now is 0.7 of a second from John Sauer back to Dakota. James Napier is in 3rd. He's about half a second behind Dakota. Fastest overall in practice, fastest overall in qualifying. 3rd place in race trim, 77 of James Napier. We see John Sauer, who's moved way out front now, with a gap of 1 second. So it looks like John Sauer can get himself into the playoffs with a victory here today. That would automatically put him in the first round. John Sauer. Dakota Henderson's running second, and it's the same thing for Dakota. He's not in the playoffs just yet, with 3 races to go, including tonight, but a victory could ensure his way into the first round. So our drivers first and second are both drivers that would love to take this victory home, put them in the playoffs. Dakota Henderson in second. James Napier back in third. Trey Smith is in fourth. Scott Rush behind him in the 04 Ford U.S. Army car. Having a great race here tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway. We know you have choices on what to do with your Wednesday nights. We're so grateful that you've chosen to watch YouTube and Wild West Racing League at Bristol Motor Speedway, brought to you by Fearless Broadcasting. I'm Barry Stevens, saying thank you. Looking up at Trey Smith from Scott Rush. Tanner Ensign is back in 6th position. The 77 of James Napier, who dropped back after an early lead. Looking back at Trey Smith. We see Dakota Henderson has closed the gap down to 0.4 of a second over John Sauer, or behind John Sauer. We're lap 85, 15 to go. So are we going to see some green flag pit stops, or are we going to have another caution? Trey Smith moves up into third, passing James Napier. Dakota moves right up to the rear bumper of the 22 of John Sauer. Lap 90, coming to lap 91. This is the battle right here between John Sauer and Dakota Henderson. It's for the lead. to the rear bumper of the 22 again. So 5, Dakota Henderson, is doing everything he can to get into a position to be able to pass the 22. We've had some clean driving here tonight. Drivers have been very respectful of each other. We see the 5 of Dakota Henderson coming into pit. John Sauer is still out on the racetrack. '96 coming to lap 97. Does John Sauer have enough fuel to make it to the end? Trey Smith is now in second. Scott Rush is in third. Gap is over 4 seconds to Trey Smith. Lap 98. We're on lap 99. Need this one to go green. Then we'll get to our white flag and final lap. Once we reach that white flag, it's official. Whatever happens after that will stand. And here is our white flag lap. John Sauer, Trey Smith, Scott Rush are your podium contenders. We're watching John Sauer come around one more time. And John Sauer will take the victory at Bristol Motor Speedway 100 laps with the Wild West Racing League Stand for Whitt Xfinity Series. John Sauer, what an amazing run he had here today. Wow. Trey Smith came in second. Very good run for him. And Scott Rush came in third. Let's find Scott Rush and move him up to the broadcast booth. Hey, Scott Rush, Barry Stevens in the broadcast booth. You got me?
Hey, Barry. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. Probably not as good as you. A third place finish here at Bristol. That's not too shabby.
I will take it. As I told you before the race, I'm not a short track guy, but I've been practicing, so I'm extremely happy with this. I'll take it all day. No damage. All good.
Yes, absolutely. And the overall, good looking car too, by the way, as we watched it here during the broadcast. Yeah, like that chrome over the top color of that U.S. Army car looks really sharp.
Yeah, all credit to the paint job goes to Tanner Ensign and Ensign Motorsports. He put this one together for me.
Okay, that's good to know. We're watching the 22 of John Sauer doing his burnouts on the start finish line. He did great. Did you have to change your game plan for today's race, or did you kind of stick with it as the race went and developed?
Honestly, I think that not qualifying worked out in my favor because I watched several people wreck out in front of me, and then I just stayed consistent the entire race. So I don't know I don't think I would have finished third if I would have started third. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So it was nice to just kind of hang back and let some people, kind of drive themselves off the track, and then lucky to be where I am at the finish. I'll take it.
Yeah. Before I let you go, do you have any shout-outs?
Just the whole league. I really enjoy doing this. I think it's a great group of guys. I'm really happy to be here, and I'm having a lot of fun. So yourself included, you do a great job, Barry. Really appreciate you.
Well, thank you, Scott. Appreciate that. I'm going to move you back down to Ensign, but congratulations on that podium finish for you, and we'll see you next week. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's Scott Rush in your 04 machine. Second place was Trey Smith. Let's find Trey Smith. Here he is in the waiting room.
I'm gonna bust his ass. Thanks, Tony.
Hey, Trey Smith, Barry Stevens in the broadcast booth. You got me.
Yes, sir. I got you, brother.
I tell you what, you did not look like you had a second place car, but you, being the wheelman that you are, made that car a second place car. How did you do it tonight?
Pure talent. No. Yeah. I honestly, I know that sounds cocky, but that's just how it was. That car was top five, or maybe a fifth car, fifth place car at best, at most. Um, Definitely had a really good long run setup. Definitely think that we could have definitely had something if we had more than 40 laps to go. I was slowly starting to catch John and Dakota as they were battling side by side and battling back and forth for that 1-2. And just unfortunate circumstances I mean, I didn't want to get second place like that, but I'll take it. Definitely could use the points to keep building this lead to not only win this regular season championship, but give us a good playoff point situation. But overall, just a crappy car, and I think we just pulled a Kyle Busch out of our tails and just pure talent drove that car because it surely was not the setup, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, and it looked like you were struggling throughout the race, and as the race developed and you moved up, saw you move up to fourth and pass uh, when you went past Tanner Ensign, and then you went past James Napier. I was like, okay, there's something here. Maybe he's got his car adjusted. He's moving up through the field, and then at the end, I look up and you are in second place. You did a great job. Before I let you go, though, do you have any shout outs?
Yeah, everyone at the G Lightning Motorsports crew, Joe, Krishan, Kaiser, Alex, Eddie, Brady, Robbo, Max, Hunter, all them guys, for obviously helping me and bringing a good atmosphere to me. YO Outlaw Custom Diecast, Stanford Whitt Foundation, Race Car Bodies by Daily, Redline Radio podcast. I know I'm forgetting some people. Fearless Broadcasting, you do a great job, Barry. Um, my amazing girlfriend, my amazing son for blessing me and supporting me through it all. The good Lord above. And yeah, I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to load the car up and get back on the road, get back to the shop, and get ready for Sunday's truck race in Darlington.
Well, there you go. Okay, Trey Smith, I appreciate your time in the broadcast booth. Thanks for taking the time out to speak with us.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Barry.
Okay, moving you back down. All right, and last, but certainly not least, is John Sauer, who is our race victor tonight. Let's pull him up. John Sauer, Barry Stevens in the broadcast booth. You got me.
Yes, sir. I got you, Barry.
Let me say something to you. You are now in the playoffs with that victory. I don't know if you realize that or not, but that's your key to the first round.
Yes, sir. That's very exciting.
Did you have in your race today, as you built your strategy through the week and got ready to do this actual race, did you have anything that you actually kept during the race, or did you have to make lots of changes to get yourself up to the front?
Well, to be honest with you, Barry, I didn't do much preparation. All these guys have these fancy paid setups and stuff, and I just came in here, threw on the fixed setup, did a couple practice laps, and went with it. Qualifying was a bit different than the practice session, but once we got in the race, it felt right at home.
Yeah, it's not always the setup. Sometimes it's the driver, and sometimes it's the situation that you find yourself in. Of course, when you're up front, you don't have all the traffic, and you're kind of out of the way of some of the accidents that accumulate behind you. So it's always nice to have that up front view with nothing in front of you. But towards the end of the race, had we stayed green, you had what was it? Dakota Henderson, I think, was right behind you there for a while, and I thought for sure maybe he was going to give you a run and come away with that victory, but you pulled that out. I'm sure you saw him in your rearview mirror.
Yeah, for sure. I think he had me on long run tires wise, but I think he was running short on fuel and had to go in.
Yes, and we saw that, and I think otherwise he may have. Who knows what would have happened between the two of you? But you definitely had that speed out there, and you had the fuel to make it to the end. So you did a great job. Before I let you go, do you have any shout outs you'd like to give?
Uh, just to my dad and Preston Pardis. He's the driver. I'm running his skin tonight, and thanks for having me, Barry.
You bet. John Sauer and the 22 machine, thank you so much for taking your time with us in the broadcast booth. I'll move you back down to the waiting room.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Barry.
You bet. Okay, so we are done here for tonight. This was the Wild West Racing League Stand for Whitt Xfinity Series. You were watching Race 8, 100 laps at Bristol Motor Speedway. We know that you have choices, and we once again thank you that for your Wednesday night, you chose to watch the Wild West Racing League Stand for Whitt Xfinity Series, brought to you by Fearless Broadcasting. I, of course, am Barry Stevens saying thank you. We'll see you the same time next week. Have a great week. Good night.